Assassin's Creed Black Flag is the best pirate game ever made. It was one of my favorite games when it came out back in 2013. And now they've rebuilt the entire thing from the ground up, staying faithful to the original while also adding in some new stuff. Naturally, I've been playing this game non-stop ever since I got my hands on it, just exploring this world. But as I've been exploring, I noticed this. A tiny little island that you could so easily miss, just nestled up here on the northern part of the map. On it, I found this man with a cross behind him, giving what seemed like a sermon to scarecrows. English Navy outfits filled with straw and affixed to these posts, positioned within these makeshift pews, all with books laid out in front of them. Every one of them just stood here, looking up at this man. He doesn't react to you unless you're hostile. He also only speaks Spanish and there's no subtitles, so I just have no idea what he's saying. And the weirdest part of finding this little island is that there's no marker for it on the map. See how this map is covered in all these little icons? I bet I look like a weatherman right now. They put these icons over all the locations in the game to show you that it's worth going to. It'll have like a little question mark or something on it, just so you know there's something there. But that little island with the Scarecrow Church on it has no markers whatsoever. And this got me wondering, how many other islands are there like this? Unmarked islands with weird secrets and stories told through their environment. Obviously, I wanted to find out, so I'm gonna sail to every single unmarked island in the game to see what else is hiding out there that most people probably miss. And then for all the islands that do have stuff on it, I'm gonna try and use the environment to piece together what happened there, starting with the weird Scarecrow Church island. This island specifically, I wanted to use the environment to piece together why this man is giving scarecrows the word of God. There are two boats that seem to have crashed on the shore here. There's a little one with a skeleton inside, it's pretty battered, and then there's just a chunk of a massive ship over here. There aren't any other big chunks of boat in the water, so my guess is that this big boat has been here for a while, and most of the other pieces have either drifted away or been used for makeshift structures on the island. Yeah, I found some pieces of this wood on the other side of the island where it seems to have been used to make the world's worst bed. Like at that point, just sleep in the sand, bro. Don't wake up with porcupine butt for all the splinters. That's so stupid. It sits within this camp area that he's got set up here. He's also got a tent, you know, some crates, and honestly, some good looking soup. For a crazy guy giving a sermon, he makes a good soup. As I was looking down at his little campsite, a turtle walked up to me, dude. There's a turtle, and you can feed it. You can feed the turtle. It's the best day of my life. In the actual church area, it looks like he's using beams from the ship to hang these cloths from. Other pieces of wood to build pathways in his little podium, and then probably using some sticks to create the scarecrows. There are some candles on the floor around his little barrel podium, many of which have melted down into a big puddle, leading me to believe that he's been here doing this for a while. He's also got religious robes, multiple books of the same religious text, and he's wearing the Jesus Force Ones. That's a man of God. That's a man of God wearing those moccasins. Now, first I thought he marooned separately from the big ship and he just went crazy instantly, found all the uniforms and turned them into scarecrows so he had somebody to talk to. But the fact that he is so prepared to give a sermon is weird. The pews he's got here don't look like they're made out of scrap. They're well crafted. Same with the chairs around here. I also noticed at this point that the cloths he hung up were specifically color coded. This one is yellow, white, and red, and the other one is red, blue, green. The yellow, white, and red obviously seems to me like the colors of the Spanish Empire. It kind of matches the flags that they fly. Also probably an easy guess that he's Spanish considering he speaks Spanish. That being said, I have no idea why there's red, blue, green, or why the scarecrows he's been talking to would be dressed in British Navy uniforms. I've been trying to translate what he says. Sometimes it's Spanish, and then he'll throw a little Latin in there to be fun. I sent like a shitty video on my iPhone recording what he was saying to my friend who speaks Spanish, but he didn't really get much out of that. He said something about a lion. Then I recorded it specifically on my computer and tried to upload it to a translator online. That gave me more words, but it didn't really make sense. It just kind of sounded like a basic sermon. It had the bones of a basic prayer, but I'm pretty sure it got a lot of the words wrong. If any of you figure out what this guy is actually saying, let me know. I would love to know. Now, with all this information, my best guess is that this guy was a priest aboard this Spanish ship that beached here some time ago. He started trying to fix that small lifeboat or build a big signal fire on the other side of the island where all the sticks are piled up. But eventually he gave up on escaping. He started going insane, and he wanted to do the job that he was doing before. Considering he was on a naval ship, he might have felt guilt for his time in service, and so he created a church of his enemies, the British. Saw it as maybe his way of atoning or helping them. I think the red, blue, green flag is meant to represent the British, and he put those two different flags up on either side of the church as a way of like representing unity. And now he preaches to this group of enemies as a way of trying to save their souls or something. This is my best guess. I didn't make it. I guess I could technically ask Ubisoft, but I feel like that's cheating. If I'm gonna ask Ubisoft anything, it's why Edward Kenway wears all of these layers in the Caribbean while sailing in the Caribbean. It's so hot. It is so hot right now. It's under here, a swamp. I'm pure sweat. My foot's asleep too, and I'm upset about that. That was all I could find on this island, so I decided to get back up on my ship and sail off to the next one. I just started heading south, looking for anything on the map that even resembled an island. And there are a lot, don't get me wrong, but most of them don't have anything noteworthy on them at all. It's just a landmass. Most of them you can't actually even get onto. It's just like a big mound of trees. But there are some, like this collection of islands, that kind of looks like it would have something on it, but I spent 45 minutes running around and it doesn't. This one I saw was pretty cool. It had flamingos on it. I like that. I like the flamingos. Big flamingo fan. I've only ever seen those on a little post in somebody's yard. There was another one I found that looked like an old Spanish fort with a guy trapped in a cage at the top. The only thing interesting there was the treasure chest, and they had this flag that looked different from all the other Spanish flags. I looked it up, and it's called the Cross of Burgundy flag. They also have one of these in Havana, but I'm not sure what the significance is and why they would use this separately from the other Spanish flag. I tried to look it up. I got confused. I'm not the kind of nerd that likes flags. We're gonna ship this one off to my flag bros. Where are my flag bros at? Let me know. I honestly like that not every one of these islands has something interesting on it. It makes finding the ones that do have something feel so rewarding. I'm condensing this down into a pretty short video, but I spent a good 12 hours straight just sailing around to different islands. As I was looking for the next island, a storm rolled in. The world got incredibly dark and water tornadoes spouted up all around me trying to kill me. One of the things I loved about the original was the dynamic weather system, and in this remake it is dialed up to 11. The sky gets dark and the rain makes it like impossible to see where you're going. I think the crazy good graphics really do help to sell the fantasy here. I don't think every game needs to look this good, but goddamn, the quality lighting and the water effects just make this so much more immersive. Seeing that vibrant green foliage pop out against the deep blue waters, it just scratches a particular itch in my brain. I don't think everybody's gonna like the bright color palette as opposed to the original's more muted tones, but I love it. And mostly because it's not overused. The world is not always saturation dialed up by 100. Like when the sun starts to go down and all the tones shift warmer, meeting in the middle, giving you this golden hour look, it's just so nice. And now instead of those vibrant green landmarks, you have islands silhouetted up against the setting sun. It's just so good. God, I love colors and shapes. Any colors and shapes lovers out there, this is for you, man. They made this for you. Eventually, after sailing to empty islands, I did come across one that had something interesting on it. I will say this one seems a lot more dark than anything I was expecting from this game, and maybe that's just me jumping to conclusions, but I'm pretty sure that this is what they were going for. It looked like another shipwreck, but this one was sailing a pirate flag. Bodies lay all over the beaches and in the water, not decomposed at all, leading me to think that they must have been recent. This must have been recent. Also similar to the last island, it seems like the pieces of this shipwreck were used to make a makeshift camp. This one a little bit bigger and surrounded by cargo. There are crates and barrels everywhere, and in most of them, there are bottles. The men here had plenty to drink, but it doesn't seem like they had enough to eat. I found these nets and crab traps, but no actual fish. There are a lot of bodies on the island, which meant they would have needed a lot of food to keep the peace. And this is where it gets weird. There's a little cove on the northeastern side of the island where multiple bodies are laying dead on the ground around a table covered in meat and bones. The meat here is blood red, not normally characteristic of a meat like fish. And there are some rat bodies laid out, but they're laid out next to human skulls, but bigger, because this one, I only could get a small one on Amazon. Another thing, there are tracks where it looks like a man was dragged. And at the end of these tracks, there's a man who lays face down with his arms and legs completely bound. And he's not the only one who seems to have been taken captive. Why did I do that? See, I was looking back around that campfire, the main camp area, at some of the crates, and in one of the crates, it's not actually a crate, it's a cage where they have a man, or had a man, sitting inside who's now dead. On the other side of the island, there are two men who have died in a pool of blood with a broken ladder sitting between them. And on the rock directly above them is a man sat there with flintlocks hoarded, as well as a couple bananas and some coconuts. He's got some barrels and a chest with him. And finally, in the center of the camp, there's a stew sitting on the fire. And it looks a little different from the priest's stew from before. It's full of that same red meat with bones and skulls lying in the dirt around this pot. And off to the side, next to the caged man, is another bucket of these bones and a skull sitting on top of a plate. Theory time? I think they was eating people. I do. That's my theory. It's my game theory. These pirates had a bunch of rum, so they were probably real drunk and crashed their ship into the rocks of it. But everybody knows when you're drunk, you go limp. You don't get stiff, you go limp, so you survive a crash. That's just true. So most of them had to have survived. They set up their camp, they had a good time until everybody got hungry and realized they weren't catching any fish. I think some people wanted to do whatever it took to survive, and some other people didn't, which is what led to conflict, some people being put in cages or bound. This game also heavily features slavery, which could work into this theory and make it even worse. Pirates started eating each other, which obviously led to a ton of infighting, and whoever disagreed with this method of survival became the next target. The guy up on that rock was probably hoarding what little bit of food they did have left, and the others were trying to get up there to get him, and so he shot them with the flintlock. He did die with a flintlock in his hand, so I have a pretty strong idea on how he actually died. The only thing that doesn't make sense to me is how they all ended up dead. I mean, at some point, someone had to be like the last survivor. I mean, maybe the guy on the rock was the last survivor. Or maybe the last set of people escaped or something. I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me how everyone would end up dead. But either way, with all the bones and bloody meat here and no animals on the entire island, it seemed like the most logical conclusion here. And also they put a skull on a plate. That's like serving it to you on a platter, literally. Definitely jumped to a lot of conclusions here, but that's my game theory. I'm Matthew Patrick. Welcome to Game Theory. On to the other island. I don't know if you've noticed while I've been sailing, there's like a little cat sitting right here just on the ship. This is something new they added, where you can have a cat on the ship, and I love it. It makes me very happy, especially because it looks so much like evil. Hello, evil. Oh God, she's feeling evil. Oi, oi. Oh God. Okay, you're free. You're free. Goodbye. She found a spot that she really likes to sit on. She don't want to be here today. She don't want to show up to work. And the fact that she's been sitting with me the entire time that I play this game, and it's like I'm seeing her in the game. It's just cool. While sailing to the next island, I noticed some Spanish and British ships just fighting randomly in the water. I don't remember if they did this in the original game, but I love how much it happens here. It's just a small detail that makes the world feel more alive. I don't think much about the naval combat has changed from the original, but I could just not be remembering properly. All I know is the big things are the controls are great, and you can have these new officers on your ship that give you different abilities. I only have one. Her name's Lucy Baldwin, and she gives you the ability to like brace right as you're about to get hit by another ship, and it reduces the damage a lot. It's like you can parry as a ship. It's not like a game changer or anything, but it does help with some of the harder fights. I know for a fact all the officer stuff is brand new. I had to do like a whole new set of missions to get Lucy onto my ship. There's actually a lot of new content in the game. I haven't finished it all yet because I've been too busy sailing around looking at islands of nothing. But what I have seen has been integrated pretty seamlessly, and more importantly, it's been fun. It feels in line with the rest of the game, which was the only thing I was really worried about. I sailed to a few more islands that were just nothing. I did find an island where it looked like people were looting the bodies of Spanish and British soldiers. It seemed like maybe this was a Spanish fort of some kind, and the British came here and they fought, and these people are just kind of picking up the scraps. There were a lot of different islands that were just unmarked outposts for either faction. Like this one, for example, where it looked like Spanish soldiers were trying to rebuild this fort, and they had like all the scaffolding around. And then there was one guy who it looked like he fell off of the scaffolding, and when I got there, there were just two Spanish soldiers kind of sitting over top of him, just looking down. It was pretty funny. I did kill everyone on the island. Combat, I will say, is completely different in this game compared to the original. I do kind of miss some of the animations from the old combat system. It just looked so cinematic, but as an actual gameplay experience, there really wasn't much to that. Whereas this, it feels like it has depth, there's actual skill required to not die. It's not the hardest combat in the world, but it is engaging and it does feel a lot better. One thing I specifically love is that they took all the like RPG systems where you have like little abilities in the bottom left and right corner. They took that kind of framework, but they didn't throw in weird random moves like you get in stuff like Valhalla. It's all just normal stuff that Edward would be able to do, like using the rope dart. I loved that. Oh man, being able to like sweep people's legs and Sparta kick them off of buildings. So much fun. It made it a lot more fun specifically to deal with like the guys that are shooting at you from up on a roof. You just take the rope dart, pull them down, and they die. Checking a few more islands off our list, I stopped seeing as many military outposts and started seeing a lot more Mayan ruins. These are pretty much just treasure hunts where you do a little bit of parkour and you open up a treasure chest full of riches. It's so simple, but it's little things like this that really give you the feeling of being a pirate in this game. Doubloons. Go back. You're free. Never mind. Who goes there? Must have been the wind. It makes me want to find treasure. Even if it's not a ton of gold, it's still so satisfying to just sail up to an island, search around a little, and pop open a chest. I think what really helps this is the fact that the gold is actually useful. There are things in the in-game economy that you want to buy. Things like ship upgrades, and right now I definitely need one. The rest of the islands I'm looking for are further south on the map, and the further down you go, the more treacherous the waters become. Ports are guarded by enemy ships, and the waters in general are full of these big honking ships called man-o'-wars. They just turn you to twigs. It's so instant. It's so instant they turn you to twigs. You gotta have like every upgrade, and you gotta just hit them with constant mortars and pray you brace in time. I've been playing for like 35 hours. I have yet to beat a man-o'-war. And this creates a little problem for our little goal here of checking all the unmarked islands. There's an island right there that is complete. I've been playing for like 35 hours. I have yet to beat a man-o'-war. And this creates a little problem for our little goal here of checking all the unmarked islands. There's an island right there that is completely guarded by a man-o'-war and another ship. There's no way around them. You gotta sail right past them. I could just look at it from the outside, but the problem is there could be an island little place on the opposite side, and there's no other way to get around and check. So the only way to know for sure that there's nothing on that island is to actually go all the way around. So I decided to go to Havana, where I could use the treasure I found along the way to upgrade my ship, at least enough so that I don't die instantly. And also, I've already shown you all the small locations in the game. I really just wanted to show you all the city of Havana. It's just so perfect. I spent so much time here as a kid. It's crazy. There's a fort over there. I used to just go there over and over and over again, trying to kill everyone with complete stealth. I had a whole route too. You go around the side and then you like wait at a door until a guy comes up and you stab him, you pull him in. Sometimes the guy up top would notice you because you have to make sure that the guy up top does not notice you. And then you can sneak in, but you don't kill the people in the courtyard just yet because there's too many people up that would notice you. So you have to climb up. You gotta climb up the stairs. You gotta be quick because you couldn't crouch. Oh my God. In the new game, you can crouch on demand. Also put up your hood on demand is beautiful. But then you go up, and what I would do is I would kill all the people like surrounding, and then you just gotta like kill all. You gotta be strategic about how you kill all the people in the center, and then they're all dead.
Wake me up! I can't.
Whenever I used to play this game, my mom would come into my room and just hang out for a while and watch me play the game. And I mean, she had no idea what was going on, but I would just explain the game to her. And I think it's funny, while making this video, I realized I'm kind of just doing the same thing. But now there's a million of my moms out there watching this video. You at home, you're my mom. Mom, please subscribe. Mom, please. It's kind of weird you're not even subscribed to your own son, if you think about it. I just love this game, man. I'm so happy that they pulled it off and that it wasn't bad. I mean, look at the city. It's unbelievable. The color palette is perfect. The parkouring is still just as fun. It's such a little thing. They brought one of the animations from Assassin's Creed Unity into this game. It's specifically the one where you run up, grab somebody, throw them down, and then assassinate them on the ground. I'm a Unity lover until I die. I will always recognize that game. It's here. I know my goat when I see it. There is a lot that's changed, and I honestly wish I had played the original before going into this one, so I remembered more what actually changed. But I'm sure that if you want to know what all of the little differences are between the games, there are plenty of YouTubers out there who are gonna make videos like that. Really, all I wanted to do with this video was, one, talk about the weird little islands because they fascinate me, and two, I wanted to talk about what this game feels like for someone like me who just loves this series. I mean, started at the very first game and grew up with these games. And as someone who over time has kind of lost track of the series, it feels good to jump into an Assassin's Creed game and be this excited again. I'm telling you, if they make more games that play like this one, or even just remake the Ezio games, oh dude, if you remake the Ezio game, my life is yours. Ubisoft, I know you have to review this video, please. My life is yours. You can have anything you want. You have anything. You can have the cat, dude. You can have her. You can have her. I know it's a sponsored video. You're probably skeptical about my word, but I hope you can see that I really do love this game. It does come from a place of passion. I mean, if I'm making all of this up, then goddamn, I'm a good actor. You gotta put me in a movie. Get me in a movie as soon as possible. Get me in the next Assassin's Creed movie. Maybe it'll be good this time. They're probably gonna make me cut that out. I left Havana with my ship and headed straight for that island in the southwest. I tried to shoot my way through and instantly got turned to twigs. Even with the upgrades, it just was not enough. Really, the only thing I could do here was just book it and hope I didn't die before I got to the other side of the island to check. And thank God it turned out to be nothing. I don't think I could have actually got out of my ship to explore it. Because if you're in combat, you can't leave the ship. So I would have had to find a way to kill that big ship. I explored more around the area. I found this other island that I thought was Mayan ruins initially, but it actually turned out to be what looked like a military fort that was just destroyed. There's all these people here seemingly hunting for treasure, but little did they know it's in the water. I just had to dive down in the water and I found it pretty quickly. I do wonder what happened to this fort because it has a lot of actual rooms. Like one of the rooms has a bed in it and there's a fireplace and there's just more modern furniture in all of it at all. And yet it sits underwater, or like modern for the time period of this game takes place. All the beds still kind of look the same today as they did back then. We haven't really had a bed update in a while. We gotta get on it. We need a bed update. Let's get the bed people on that. Bed people, make something happen. We've been doing rectangles a lot. Triangles. Give that some thought. Go ahead and chew on that thought sausage. Now, at this point, there were only a handful of islands left for me to explore. And there's one of them that I'm not actually going to show you. Gotta leave a little bit of mystery so that if you play the game, you can go discover some stuff on your own. There's two of them I haven't told you about. One is at this set of coordinates on the map, 625 47. I think this is really cool. Beyond that, and some of the empty ones around the southern part of the map, there's only one more island that I really want to show you that really stood out to me. Not only did it stand out, but this is my favorite island in the entire game, including all the marked ones. It was cool because I wasn't even expecting to find anything over here. This little island was not even on my radar, but I found it as I was sailing to another island. There was this like billowing smoke coming up from it, so I decided to stop it. This one wasn't a shipwreck, there was nobody eating people on the island, but it had a bunch of people though, all living here and working. I got off my ship and headed up to the first group of NPCs I could find, and there was this one woman who was just playing guitar and singing, and it was like a full song that she performed. I sat there listening to the whole thing. Then a dog walked up to me. I got to pet the dogs, my best day ever. It didn't take me long to figure out what they do on this island. It is, and by God, it is a pirate's dream. This unmarked island is where they make the rum. It's Liquor City, and baby, I'm moving in. I noticed first they had these stores of sugarcane all over the island. I didn't notice at first because I didn't actually know how rum was made, but over here, kind of towards the back of the island, I found this like processing place where it seems like they boil some of the sugarcane in here to separate the sugars, and then they ferment it in this other container or something like that. That is a contraption or doodad that looks specific to making rum. Up here, they package and store everything, and then down at the docks, there is a guy constantly like writing in a ledger what I imagine is actually a manifest for the imports exports of rum from this island. I'm not really sure where the people live. There's no houses on the island, but I imagine maybe they live close by and they just sail over here when they need to get to work. They do have these massive stores of it though, in bottles and in barrels, just piling up. It's like they fully thought out the rum manufacturing process and built this island with all of those different components in mind, and then didn't even put a marker on it. I don't know what the significance is of this, but there's also a picnic blanket laid out with a bunch of fruit all over it on this perfect little lookout spot. It's such an incredible feeling to show up to an island with no expectations, only to find an entire rum distillery operation. I love it so much because it's the kind of passion and creativity that you can only really find in video games. And with that, we have explored every single unmarked location in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, except for that one that I didn't show you that you gotta find. Click the card right here to go and watch another one of my videos. Thank you Ubisoft for sponsoring the video. That was awesome. Thank you to $25 patrons over at patreon.com/bisleychannel. And thank you everybody.
I actually pressed record this time. Hi dudes, I am Brooke, and today I'm going to be going where no internet or real life human has ever dared step foot before, which is Reddit's Am I the Asshole? So today I'll be traversing the soil that is Reddit's Am I the Asshole, as I said. This one has one of my favorite votes in all of existence, which I will say after the fact. Stick to the end for a surprise. Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend if she could take a shower? How many? That's so crazy. But, like, let's let them speak their piece, obviously, but it does kind of immediately make you be like, damn, you kind of are asshole. But let's not assume, because we know what that does. It kills you. You'll fucking die. No! My girlfriend only showers once a week. Twice if I'm lucky. That's so bad. That's really bad. And listen, with this story specifically, there certainly seems to be a like mental health component that I am not going to sit here and like internet diagnose, because I am not a mental health professional, but I'm not blind to the fact that obviously that's part of it, and I'm not just trying to judge this person for not showering. They go on to say, typically we go to the gym together, and I've often asked her why she doesn't shower, and she always comes with things like, oh, women typically don't sweat much, and I sweat very little, even for women's standards, which, okay, now we're getting into like girls don't pee or girls don't poop territory, which is really like elementary and like really funny to still be keeping up as a grown woman, which like I will say, like, I think people generally have different levels of how much they sweat. I have really, really dry skin, and I don't know if that plays into it, but I don't really sweat that much. But if I work out, if I'm going to the gym, I'm gonna sweat, obviously, a little bit. I just I don't tend to pour sweat the way like someone who tends to sweat more would. But you still shower. You don't shower exclusively to remove sweat from your body. So regardless of sweating very little, even for women's standards, you still shower because you like, there's dirt, there's like bacteria, like there's just so many reasons to shower. It's just gross. Okay. Oh no. They go on to say, and I don't buy it because I can smell, which is such a read. Okay. They say, I used to just suck it up because I know she's extremely sensitive. Kinda not safe for work here, but this has even affected our sex life. I used to love going down on her, but after not showering after workouts / long work days, etc., I've lost interest. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame them. That's really gross. I feel really bad, but that's just so crazy to not shower after legitimately after working out. And like, even after like going to work, if you're having what they're describing as long work days, like what's the job? What if it's like laborious, you know, like if you're sitting in an office all day, like whatever, but that's really crazy to not shower more than once or twice a week. They said twice a week if I'm lucky too. Okay, fast forward a bit. She now starts using the sauna at the gym. No. Maybe on average 2 times a week. Still refuses to shower. I've said there's just no way you don't sweat in the sauna. Just me sitting in there for 5 minutes gets me soaked. She says she doesn't sweat much there either, and she sits in there for 20 minutes. Again, it's not about sweating. Like, I understand not being like a super like sweaty, like where you're pouring sweat off your body person, but that doesn't mean that your body's not like producing stink. You know, like if you're in a sauna or like a tanning bed or something like that, your body's cooking. Like it's legitimately like Final Destination, like cooking. Like, I mean, that's more tanning bed, but they should do a sauna one. So then they go on to say, things are now worse. I can smell her very badly. Almost to the point where I try not to breathe in too close to her because it's not good. I've tried so long to give hints to get her to shower more, like, hey, do you want to take a shower together? Winky face. But she can't take the hint and says, why would we do that? There's only room for one under the water anyway. That's so funny. I actually am with her on that. I get that. You need your space. And if it seems like she already has some aversion to wanting to be in the shower, and maybe there's like a sensory thing about being in the shower that she's not like loving. And so adding in a second body to the mix is like probably the last thing she'd want to do. But like, the breadcrumbs are not working. We need to drop a loaf of bread at this point, you know? One evening, she wanted to lie down on the floor and stare at a world map that she has. She invited me to lie down next to her and just to talk about where we want to go, etc. That is the most pure-hearted activity, like the most kind and sweet activity that any couple could participate in. I literally love that so much. To just sit and like daydream over a map is so pure. I lasted for about 1 minute before I had to make up some dumb excuse as to why I had to get up. She then gets upset and says something along the lines of, why are you leaving? You never want to do stuff with me. The truth is, I just can't be close to her for long. I don't think that they say how long that they've been together. Yeah, there's nothing about how long they've been together, but it does kind of read as like not super long into the relationship, vibes. I don't know. Or maybe just, they do say that, like, she's pretty sensitive, but I don't know that that's not a reason to just say what is happening, because then if she truly doesn't know that she smells, then she's just gonna assume, like, they don't like her, you know? Like, you're just gonna assume, like, okay, well, there's another reason they don't want to be around me. I must be, like, annoying, or I must be, you know, whatever it is. So if she's not picking up on these little hints that you're giving her, you need to, like, just say, like, I love you so much. I want to be close to you. I want to be around you. I want to do things with you. But I unfortunately just can't, because, like, I've tried to give you little hints, but I do think you need to shower more. Like, you just don't, like, there's, like, polite ways to have a really hard conversation, and it's not a fun conversation to have, but, like, if the bitch is stinky and you can't be around her to the point where, like, you genuinely can't sit on the ground with her, that is bad. Like, and do they live together? Because if they live together, like, I don't want someone stinky on my couch, personally, or, like, sleeping in bed with me. That is, oh, that's so icky. Okay. I'm not even sure I started to resent her, because it was only this one thing that was bugging me in the relationship, but maybe I did, and that's my fault for being bad at communicating to her. I mean, it's not this person's fault for not communicating that their girlfriend stinks, but, like, if it's bothering you that bad that the girlfriend's doing something inherently, like, gross, and, like, it's not your fault that they're doing that, but it is certainly your fault that you've let it go on this long, bothering you without coming out and saying it. Yeah, that's tough. And again, I do want to acknowledge, again, deeper into the story now that we have more context, that, like, obviously there's likely a mental health component whenever someone's not keeping up with hygiene the way that, like, we expect people to in the society we live in. So I'm not trying to, like, sit here and bash someone because they don't shower the way I do, or, like, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to be around someone who smells. So anyway, I couldn't hold it in any longer. I tried one last time to ask if she wanted to take a shower with me to show I did want to do stuff with her, but she declined. Then, well, because she's asking if you want to do stuff with her, like, look at a little map and, like, daydream about travel plans, and you're giving her, like, want to fuck, you know? Like, of course she's like, no. Like, I don't know if she's, like, genuinely not picking up on the showering hint, or if she's just ignoring it, like, resentfully. But if she genuinely is not picking up on the showering hint, all she's getting out of this is her being like, I want to do nice things with you. And you're like, oh yeah? How about you get your fucking pussy out and we get naked and shower together? Like, how about that? If you want to do things with me so bad, why don't you get your pussy out? Like, that's all she's getting. So of course she's like, I'm not really interested in that. She declined. Then I said, I know you say you don't sweat, but I can smell. I don't like the smell of sweat, etc. And it being a popular gym we go to, I would just appreciate if you showered a bit more. See, like, I do feel like they said that pretty nice, but I feel like the way they explain it makes it sound like this was in a moment of, like, an explosion, you know? Like, I couldn't hold it in any longer, you know? And it's like, okay, maybe be like, okay, I do want to explain why I've been, you know, dropping little hints about it, and I should just come right out and say, instead of, I know you say you don't sweat, but I can smell. You know, it just gives kind of rehearsed energy. I know that they probably just typed out the way that they remember it, and it was probably a lot, like, longer and more fumbly, but to just imagine them being like, listen here, toots, I know that you say that you don't sweat, but I got a nose. Who the fuck do you think you're fooling, bitch? And also, what does that have to do with being a popular gym? We go to the best crunch fitness around this place. So it'd be a lot less embarrassing for me and my fucking fitness buddies if you didn't smell like shit all the time. Okay, so she freaked out. World War III started. Didn't actually. She accused me of things and asked if I found her disgusting, etc. I mean, you kind of did just tell her you found her disgusting. Like, you do find her disgusting. That's disgusting behavior of her, to be fair. So it's not crazy that she's like, oh, so you think I'm disgusting. Because you do. It almost felt like she wanted me to think that she's disgusting for some messed up reason. No, she's trying to be the victim in a situation where you're coming at her all of a sudden and she feels like attacked.
I feel very attacked!
And she wants to be like, what the fuck? You hate me? Like, so they say, like, this was an easy way to create distance between us, have less sex and all that. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm overthinking it. It's just, to me, it feels awfully obvious to shower, if not daily, at least every other day. She says she doesn't want to shower her hair often, but still, you can shower your body. Yeah, you actually shouldn't wash your hair every day. It should be like, you should wait like 2 days at least. I have a cosmetology license. So, as far as washing your hair, I could tell you. But you do want to wash it. Don't be one of those Instagram people who's like, day 8 of this hair, just slicking it back because it's dirty. You still have a scalp that needs to be washed, because that's gross. At that point, you do need to wash your scalp. Anyway, so they say, our relationship is borderline over because I hurt her. So am I the asshole? What could I have done differently? Irrelevant, but, and then this is funny because it's in tiny text also. Irrelevant, but is it normal that women shower less than men? I was always under the impression it was the opposite. Obviously, you know that it's not normal. Okay, update. We broke up. She refused to accept that she was disgusting by not showering and did not see anything wrong. Impossible for me to change her mind when she is dead set on no wrongdoing. No point for me to argue with someone like that. Seems like there was a lot of unresolved trauma in her past. Okay, big jump. I was aware of it, but not the severity of it and how it still affected her. How are you aware of trauma in her past and not how it affects her? That doesn't make any sense. One of the first sentences to come out when I confronted her again about it was, break up with me then. Like she was challenging me or something. It really made me feel weird. Instead of us coming to an agreement together, she went very defensive and just attacked me. She struggled with having girlfriends. Like, she was... Oh, okay. I was fully confused about this. I thought that they were saying that, like, they have an open relationship or something, and she dates women and had struggled with having girlfriends outside of this relationship. That was confusing. You don't really hear people call, like, female friends girlfriends unless the person's, like, a Gen X or boomer, you know? She struggled with having girlfriends as she was scared of them stealing her current boyfriend or something. Oh, red flag. So she always went to hang out with the guys. Oh, I'm sure she did. She loved getting validation from guys as well, so she ended up having a lot of friends with benefits over the years, she said. That's super red flag behavior. Not the a lot of friends with benefits, who cares, that's totally fine, but the, like, loving the validation from guys so much that she's neglecting the friendships of her, like, girlfriends. Pick me behavior for sure. There's a lot of stuff I did not know, but that's just not my thing. Knowing my girlfriend's trauma, not really my fucking thing.
For whatever reason, it's just not grabbing me right now.
For some reason, I almost feel used in a way because I feel like to her, I was just another friends with benefits, but she was someone I actually saw a future with. Ultimately, what made us break up, though, was the fact that she sees herself as over men, or me in this case. She believes women are holy. Her words, not mine. I mean, they do have one hole that you don't. But also, no, what made you break up was the fact that you guys don't agree on how often a human being should shower. That's not her being over men. It was the fact that the shower head wasn't over her. She was the taker in the relationship and I was the giver. It worked for some time, but then I started resenting her and did not want to be much of a giver for her anymore. I started to notice that she did not appreciate my efforts and she did not reciprocate much at all. Hopefully she'll find a guy who will put her in the highest pedestal out there, but that guy's not me. All power to her. The guy does come off a little bit condescending and thinking that they're, like, above the girl. But this girl does need to shower more. That's a fact. You should definitely be showering every day. The top comment on this one is, it's not, oh, yuck. It's not just about sweat, vaginal discharge, urine, and feces. I'll add to the smell. No wonder you don't want to be near her. I shower every other day and feel dirty if I don't. I have dry skin. Otherwise, I'd shower daily, but my skin hurts if it gets too dry. Well, girl, lotion. She should be showering at least that often and absolutely after each visit to the gym and sauna. Gross. People are on Reddit are always like, you should break up with her, kill her dogs, and also her parents because she doesn't shower. So that's basically death penalty. It's like, yeah, she should shower more, but fucking relax also. Okay, so this is my problem with people on Reddit. This comment goes on about how it's not just the sweat, it's bacteria that grows on the sweat, blah, blah, blah. But this is my issue. This person says, next time y'all eat dinner, wipe the plate with a paper towel in front of her and put it back in the cabinet. Tell her the dish was barely used and doesn't hold much food anyway and really only needs to be washed every few times you use it. Then call her an unwashed cereal bowl. Like, who does that? Like, people don't behave like this. You guys are like writing Wattpads in your head. Like, the fuck are you doing? I freaking choked. A+. Like, no. Don't call your fucking significant other an unwashed cereal bowl in order to resolve things going forward. The fuck are you talking about? Definitely don't do that. Like, have a kind conversation with the person you love, believe it or not. Insane behavior. It's always some like, this is what I would do. I would sit her down and tell her she is an unwashed cereal bowl, and then I would tell her that basically she is not worth my time. Like, no you wouldn't. You fucking wouldn't. You would never say that. It took you like 45 minutes to think of that and then type it into Reddit for a fucking random person you don't know. You would never fucking say that. Insane behavior. Also, what I love about Am I the Asshole for asking my girlfriend if she can take a shower is that it's been voted not the asshole, poo mode. I love when shit goes poo mode. Next up we have, am I the asshole for asking a guest to not crochet at my bachelorette party? This is another very like clickbaity almost title where you kind of assume that the person is kind of a fucking asshole because who cares? You know, like, why would they're not allowed to have a little downtime at your bachelorette party? It's like, no, you need to be thinking about me the entire fucking time. But alas, there's more to it. As we'll see, I, 28 female, am getting married this year. Yay! And went on my bachelorette party trip last weekend. The trip was to a cabin-type setting where we all stayed in the same house. I have 3 bridesmaids, but I also invited some friends to come along. That's so funny because no shade on having 3 bridesmaids, that's plenty, fine. But if you have 3 bridesmaids but enough friends to have additional friends come to your bachelorette party, why not just also make them bridesmaids? Like, I know that having friends be bridesmaids sometimes comes with, like, cost and stuff, but you don't have to have it come with cost. Like, they're gonna come to the bachelorette party, so that's, the biggest cost, basically. Yeah, that's really it. If they're coming to the wedding, they're coming to the wedding already. If they're coming to the bachelorette party, they're certainly coming to the wedding. So they can't be bridesmaids. They're like, you guys are cool, you can come to my bachelorette party, but god fucking damn it, you're not allowed to stand next to me at my wedding. Not in front of all my family. Like, no fucking way. Part of the group is my brother's girlfriend, 36 female, brother is 38 male, of 5 months, who isn't in the wedding party. Okay, no shade on them dating for 5 months, but that's a crazy amount of time for this all to be going down because their relationship at their like late 30s, dating for 5 months, it's like, that's like 3 dates at that point, you know, like, not saying they're like old, but like they just, as someone who's pushing 30 myself, like 5 months is not like a serious amount of time that you need to be bringing them to family fucking functions and forcing them into it. That's crazy. She wasn't invited because I didn't know her well and they live in another state, but my brother asked me to invite her as a favor to him. Why the fuck is he doing that? Why is he doing that? Why? Okay. He said that she's never been invited to a bachelorette and likely never would be. Why? The fuck? Why are you like shading your own fucking girlfriend?
Yeah, she actually kind of sucks ass. So, like, there's no chance she's ever going to get invited to one of these. So, throw her a bone.
Give her a chance. I don't know. Maybe she'll make her own friends. I have no idea why. This is just what he told me and hoped she could have this experience. Since people would be paying their own way and the group wasn't large, I figured why not? She seemed nice enough. this girl's nicer than me, because just the principle of being asked would have pissed me the fuck off. Just the like sheer audacity it takes for someone to invite their new girlfriend to like the bride's fucking bachelorette party with their closest fucking friends, and the group isn't large. That's another reason she shouldn't fucking be there. That's so crazy. If the group isn't large, then it's even more awkward. It's like just presumably your tightest knit group of besties in the whole world, which only 3 of them, you know, tight enough to stand up at the altar with you. But the rest of them, good enough. And now we've got this random bitch that like barely knows your brother even? Lives in another state. You guys don't have shit in common. Every time you guys talk about something within your own friend group, you have to be like, oh, well, it's the one time we went here and that's what we're talking about every 2 seconds. Or you're a fucking like bitch that is leaving her out. Oh, fuck that. I'd be like, no. She's not coming. I don't know her. So then she goes on to say, the problem is that during the weekend, she would insist on crocheting all the time, even during our events and games. When I asked her to participate with us, she said that she took the time off for the trip and she wanted to make most of her vacation by catching up on her crochet projects. Honestly, I kind of live for her fucking being like, no, fuck that. I don't want to do this with you guys. I want to crochet. Do you think I took time off work to fucking hang out with you girls? I don't even know you. I want to crochet. I came to this cabin to do one thing and one thing only, and that's fucking hook some fucking yarn through some crochet hooks. And it certainly isn't to pin the fucking bridal dress on the donkey or whatever. So then she goes on to say, and that playing games and hanging out with my friends wasn't fun, and she didn't want to waste her days off. All her words, not mine. That's so crazy. Then why did you come? Like, I would have been like, okay, go. Like, then leave. And to be clear, I don't care that she wants to crochet in general. Most of our activities ended after dinner anyway, and we would just hang out in the living room. I just asked her to save the crocheting for at night after the activities. That is a very fair request. I just can't. Like, it's such like a... This is no shade on crocheting. It's a very difficult and respectable hobby, and I'm a crafty gal myself. But it's just such a funny, like, you always see crocheting and knitting as like little like old lady behaviors to be doing in public. So it's funny to picture like a like bachelorette party and you like expect them to be like, oh god, they're gonna get fucked up and they're gonna be rowdy and drunk in public. And then it's like a girl like fully crocheting like a giant blanket. I love that. I hate it. I hate it. My issue was that she was taking her crocheting with us to places like wine tasting, brunch, a museum tour, etc. It was super disrespectful in my eyes because she'd insist on coming yet wouldn't participate in the activity. Honestly, I was bothered that she was crocheting when we were playing bridal games, but at least that was in our living room. Also, the fuck is she gonna do during the bridal games? She doesn't know you. So like, they're gonna be like, what's Emily's favorite color? Who knows it? And this bitch is gonna be like, how the fuck should I know? I don't know her. Also, it's so funny to think of someone on a museum tour, like lugging around crocheting supplies. This is a really funny thing to do to somebody. Like neutral evil. The trip's over now, but apparently she was super peeved that I asked her to limit her crocheting time, and my brother's been pestering me to apologize for ruining her trip. Her trip is crazy. Her trip. Oh my god.
Hey, I know I brought an uninvited plus one who wore white to your wedding, but do you mind apologizing? Because she was a little bit offended that you wore white as the bride, and she wanted to be the only one wearing white.
I personally don't feel like I should, because she shouldn't have come to the bachelorette party if she didn't want to do bachelorette things. That's right, girl. But I also love my brother very much, and I don't want this to come between us. He put it between you. I'm starting to doubt myself because his girlfriend sounds really annoyed with me. Please help. Let her be. Who the fuck cares? Let her die in a fire, for all I care. With her crochet hooks with her. It's like, yeah, she should shower more, but fucking relax also. Edit, I wanted to add some details just in case this helps because I think some people think I'm being a bridezilla. If anybody sees this as bridezilla behavior, legitimately, what the fuck do you want? What the fuck do you want? Like, is no one allowed to have fun anymore? Genuinely. Every time a bride has a fucking wedding event and has the tiniest complaint about like, hey, do you mind not like trying to kill me during my wedding? There's gonna be some neckbeard in the comments like,
Bridezilla behavior. Fucking bridezilla. Oh, I can't have fun?
oh my god. Oh my god, it's her fucking wedding. It's her fucking bridal shower, bachelorette party. Let her have this. Let her be a bridezilla if she was, but she's not. Someone who's capable of being a bridezilla would likely not be spending their bachelorette party at like a cabin. That's just like a rough rule I think I have. I'm gonna throw that in stone, I think. If you're spending your bachelorette party in a cabin, you're too laid back to be a bridezilla, as a rule of thumb. She's adding some details for us. Number 1. She was crocheting a throw blanket about the width of my entire fucking arm span. That's what she was carrying with her to dinner, museums, wineries, etc. It wasn't some small thing the size of my palm. She also had the materials for the blanket with her, about 5 balls of yarn. I'm not sure what you'd call it, but each ball was about the size of a cantaloupe. That's what they used to say about me in college. That is so fucking funny to have that much fucking crocheting supplies with you at a dinner, museum, winery, or etc. It's not even just rude because she's in a bachelorette party trip. It's rude because it's weird, like in public. Imagine your server comes over and you have a pottery throw and you're like throwing clay onto it and sculpting your shit up, and your server's like, and you're just like, I'll do a Dr. Pepper, and they're like, is Mr. Pibb okay? Number 2. We gave her the option to stay home. I told her I wouldn't be offended if this trip wasn't her style, and she wanted to spend it crocheting, but she insisted on coming with us to every single event. That is crazy. 3. Even though my brother had asked me to bring her, she admitted to me that she wanted to come and that she'd asked my brother to ask me. She's manipulative. 4. She does not have social anxiety. She just thought our activities were boring and a waste of her time. I mentioned this in another comment, but I overheard her calling my party a basic bitch bachelorette, but I didn't want to confront her because I didn't want to cause drama. First of all, who'd you overhear her saying this to? Like one of your best fucking friends at your bachelorette party? Did you overhear it and no one told you about this? Because like if I overheard this comment, I'd be like, well, someone's gonna like the person that she said this to is immediately going to come tell me about it because that's so fucking rude. But also, this is like not a basic bitch bachelorette. A basic bitch Jesus, that's such an annoying alliteration. A basic bitch bachelorette is like what I did, honestly. Like a Vegas, like little fucking plastic dicks everywhere and like strippers. Granted, I didn't have strippers, but like that's the basic bitch bachelorette behavior. How's that for an alliteration? She says, but I didn't want to confront her because I didn't want to cause drama. Number 5, my biggest issue is that she wasn't... Oh, my biggest issue isn't that she wasn't giving me attention. Please! I'm a grown adult and already thankful for the friends giving me love and joy during the weekend. I just thought it was super rude to crochet such a big project during group activities. She literally brought her blanket to a museum and crocheted during a private tour. That is really fucking funny to do. It's like kind of cunty behavior in a little bit of like I said, evil neutral. So top comment is, so do we see why your brother's girlfriend would not be invited to would never be invited to a bachelorette party? Fair. Not the asshole, but I'm super curious about whether the brother's girlfriend even wanted to go on this bachelorette weekend or whether it might have been your brother's idea, and the answer changes how much I judge the girlfriend here. I disagree with that. I get the curiosity, though she did already clear it up in the edits. I get the curiosity as to like, did she even want to go in the first place? Which apparently she did, but it's still her fucking choice. She's a grown-ass adult. She's in her 30s. She can choose to say like, oh no, I'm gonna be awkward. I'm not gonna, have a good time. Even if it was the brother being like, you should go like spend time with my sister, it'd be a great opportunity. he'd be a fucking idiot for saying that. And then she could be like, no, that's not a good idea. Problem solved. And we don't have to have Crochet Gate. But she decided to go. All right, I think I'm gonna wrap it there. Don't forget to go ahead and murder the like button and beat the shit out of the subscribe button. And I will see you on the next video. I actually pressed